The forums.
The streamers.
The blogs.
The gamer.
The tweets.
The streamers.
The role players.
The player.
The forums.
The bad.
The blogs.
The good.
The enthusiast.
The spotlight.
The spotlight.
The spotlight.
Good evening and welcome to episode 7 of The Spotlight.
Yes, welcome to The Spotlight on BlizzPro TV. Hello everyone in the chat room, we are so happy to see you, and hello to listeners later on. We hope you can join us next time. We are The Spotlight, and we cover everything that Blizzard is doing. World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, Warlords of Draenor, as we will get information on that expansion, as well as Heroes of the Storm and anything else Blizzard decides that they want to play with. Mwahaha. So let's get this going. First, let's start off with the Mumble Queen herself, Sosa. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and I'm coming to you guys live from the back part of the backwoods of Canada, where even the Lich King thinks it's really cold, and class doesn't matter.
Yay!
Very nice.
And that wonderful baritone you hear is the leader of our Free Thinkers Everywhere, Geeky. How's it going, sir?
It's going. It's going. It's not
Just
too bad. Yeah, you know, just going. It's warm today, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
for
heat
the last
wave.
week and a half, it's been like Ice Crown, you know, kind of like what Sosa said.
Yeah.
And now it's more like Daenerys going on outside. It's a little more
okay.
deserty, so.
Oh, wow.
Send some of that my way, please.
Yeah, I'll try.
I want to get rid of the ice on my
I'll send
driveway.
Deathwing up that way, and he can just, you know,
Yeah.
burn
You can stand
everything.
at you can get an achievement at the same time.
Yeah. There you go. Dara, how are you
Worth
doing?
it right about now.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
am all right. I am one-armed at this point. So if anyone has any crimes that were committed and you're looking for a fall guy, I'm the one-armed host, as you can see. I broke my arm on
Oh.
Friday slipping on said ice. So that's what I get for trying to quest an ice crown by myself.
Whoops.
Um,
Look at all those Wrath of the Lich King references we're making tonight. We're only 2 minutes into the episode.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, so broke my arm, so that's my fun. But I can still drive the clown car one-handed, so we're all good.
Wait.
Gosh.
I
I'm
have
hanging
to
on for dear
interrupt.
life. I'm gonna fall
I have to
out.
interrupt one quick second. Ladies and gentlemen of the chat room, I don't know if you know it, but today would be Darrow, aka Liz's birthday.
Oh, man.
She's 17 years old for like the 30th time. So,
If I had a soundboard, I would do Happy Birthday. I'd play it really loud.
Oh, thank you.
so I want all of you guys in the chat room to send her out her birthday wishes.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone on Cold
Thank
Tourist
you.
should go do cooking, make her a cake, just inbox that. So she's like 20 cakes.
Vodecki in our guild actually sent me a celebration cake in the
Oh,
mailbox
there we
today.
go.
So
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you for the happy birthday wishes.
Very
I
nice.
appreciate it, guys.
Very
Thank
nice.
you. Yes, so I'm celebrating by sitting here with all of you to discuss what the community is saying and trying to do it all one-armed. So if you see me moving in weird ways, it's me trying to move my mouse with my left hand.
You turned 21 today, right? It's-
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure, you know. Make sure.
Let's see. Oh, thank you, Robin. Well, actually, Robin, this podcast is a community-driven show. So we talk about what the Blizzard gaming community is saying about Blizzard games.
This is the Alcohol Anonymous podcast. So welcome. My name is
I don't know
Geeky.
what you're talking about, alcohol.
My name is Geeky and I have a problem. This is more like a WoW alcohol or WoW.
Wait.
Wow,
I
don't
thought
know
it
how
was
you
an
say that.
alcoholic.
Altaholics. There you go.
Oh,
It is
alcohol.
Altaholics.
Oops.
I have an old
If it
problem.
was Alcoholic Anonymous, my name is Sosa. I have a problem. I'm up to 790s, and I still want to make that druid.
Yeah.
And you're transmogging all of them.
We're helping each other. We're helping each other out.
Oh yes. Transmog. By the way,
Love, yes.
yeah. The forums are lit up. People are begging for more space in void storage and in their banks because transmog is probably the worst disease to affect everything since the Wrath of the Lich King intro
plague.
quests.
Yeah.
Yeah, the intro
Going
plague.
back to Wrath again. That's right.
Back to Wrath.
It's Arthas's fault, darn it. That's what it is. We're gonna blame Arthas for this.
Yeah. We're gonna be talking about Wrath until spring thaw.
Yes.
But yeah,
true.
Transmog people are they're begging for more stuff, especially with all of the really nice sets that Mist of Pandaria has given us.
Oh yes.
So people are running out of space for all their transmogging stuff, and so they're asking for more void storage, and we've gotten a bunch of responses. The biggest one right now is to make room in the bank. They are bringing up again the fact that they're building a toy box, which is going to hold all of your miscellaneous things that don't really do anything but have a neat little effect to them, like your Orb of Transmogrification, your Orb of the Sindori, or all of the other little things, your all the neat little things you're getting from archaeology that they keep adding to.
Right.
And all of that kind of stuff. So they're building the toy box, and that's hopefully going to alleviate some of your bank problems. But is that going to be enough? The biggest problem is, I think it was Bashyok who came out and said that they want to fix void storage, but they don't want to slap a band-aid on it. They want to make an actual fix, but they weren't expecting it to be quite like it is. Like, they weren't expecting... I think the transmog craze has just literally caught them. They were expecting it to be cute and some people to like it. They weren't expecting everyone to love it the way that they do.
Right.
It's literally huge. So they're working on trying to find a better way that's not band-aidy.
Right.
But it's not easy. Void storage is a very complex bit of coding, and that's why you'll notice if you've taken something and you put it into there, it takes off any changes or enchants or anything like that. It pretty much reduces it to its base stats.
Right.
So it takes just that little bit of code in there.
Right.
So that's how they're able to use void storage. But some people are also saying the problem with void storage is it costs money to take stuff in and put stuff out. Now that you can admittedly transmog directly from it without having to take stuff out, that helps. But people are like, it sucks when I get this nice new set of gear that I can't wear anymore, but I like it, and I have to pay however many $100 gold in order to put it back in the void storage.
Right.
So they're looking into that, and so that's one of the problems is the void storage situation. Then we move over back to the toy box, and people are asking what's going to count and what isn't.
Right.
And that's another thing that people are very concerned about. They don't want to lose certain items, and they want to make sure that other items are going to be included in that so as to take up less room in their bank spot space. Like the Furball wand that you used to get in Ashen Vale.
Oh, yes.
You would wave it and you would turn into a Furball. There is the Archmage staff, which you get from the Nether Storm. That's another one. People are also asking about, say, the wormhole generators that engineers make.
Oh, yes.
The ones that transport them over the place. Are those going to become counting as toys? The cute little trinkets, like in Miss Pandaria in
the Jade
Forest,
Raccoon.
Exactly, the Jade Raccoon. You put that on and you can it's a trinket, but you can also use it as an item in order to get like a little raccoon following you around. Is that going to be considered a toy?
Yeah.
And the items that you actually have to equip and then use, like again, your Orb of Transmogrification, is that going to be... Do you still have to equip it from this book, or will it become something different? Rygarus was saying they're hoping for stuff like that to be turned into more of a spell.
Right.
So you'll be able to go into your toy box just like you go into your spell book and be able to click stuff. Yeah, just similar to what they did with the mounts. Because mounts used to be an actual physical thing that you had in your bag, and you'd have to click it in order to access it.
And I remember with the pets, too, the companion pets, you had to have them in your bag to use them.
Yeah.
So it would take up your personal bag space if you wanted to have a certain pet.
Yeah, I remember back in Vanilla, I had a friend who was a mount collector and a pet collector back before they had them in the books.
Right.
Her bank was full of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she literally had bags. And, I mean, back then, the biggest bag you could get was, like, what, the 14 slot?
16.
Was there a 16 slot?
There was one or two I think you could get as drops, but otherwise it was 14 for what would be made.
Yeah.
The Netherweak bags
didn't come in until
Until
TBC.
Yeah, so the next expansion.
So yeah, back in vanilla, she had like runecloth bags, those little 14 slot bags, which seem almost cute now when you think back on it. But she had just her bank, and all of those bags were full of just that. And I don't even remember. Did you have the 7 bank slots back then?
You had them, and you still had to buy. I mean, you still have to, but you had to spend gold, increasing amounts of gold.
Yeah, I remember it was a lot more expensive. But did you actually have the full 7, or was there less?
No,
I don't remember.
well, unless you were really good with the auction house.
Yeah, you usually couldn't afford them all.
You couldn't afford to get all of the slots opened.
Yeah. But yeah, so like it's again the same problem now that we're having with the transmog and the tabards and all of the toys and stuff like that. People are just, it used to be the mounts and the pets, so they fixed that problem. Used to be keys.
Yep.
The keys, they made the key ring, and then they got rid of keys entirely. Which,
no more attunement.
Biggest mistake ever.
More attunements.
I agree.
I love the keys. I'm sorry, but it's a possession. It's a quote unquote tangible thing in the game that I spent time to work towards. That shows, hey, I achieved this. Now we have achievements, which are the same thing.
But it was always fun to ask your friends to drag your 3rd character through Molten Core, through Blackrock Depths, so you could get attuned to Molten Core again.
Yep.
If they'd made it so that way you could do it once, then I'd be okay with it. Like if you earned that key on one character and could use it on the others, I would have been a little more better with the key problem, but that's a whole nother story. That's already gone. That's neither here nor there, and I don't want to go off on a tangent.
So,
but
real quick, I want to jump in about the void storage issue. I have played for 9 years and change now. And I know void storage has only been out for a little while and everything. I'm not much of a transmog guy. And it's not because I'm a guy. It's not none of that argument, but it's like, like people will come to be like, hey, like, where's your transmog from? I'm like, what transmog? So, like, it's like that awkward, like, cricket moment where I have to, like, look dumbfounded, quote unquote.
I have a couple pieces of transmog, but they were picked up incidentally. So it's kind of one of those, a guildie was doing transmog runs.
Right.
And was like, who wants to go with? And I'm like, oh, it'll be fun, to go and hang out with guildies and have a good time. And, I would end up picking up a piece here or there. So I have a robe and a cape, or back piece, that I use to transmog. But other than that,
right.
I really don't have a lot of transmog stuff because it's just never really been my thing.
I just don't have the
Maybe
time.
if Blizzard had better shoes, I'd be interested.
Or you could actually see them in some of the races, like trolls, like you know what I mean,
Tauren.
Like it's just like,
I'm
your
a
blood elf,
cloppy.
you have tiny feet. It's like,
I'm a cloppy. I wear a robe. You do not see my feet.
Right, exactly. The closest thing that I come to ever having to use void storage, which I haven't, but I've been very close,
Neither have I.
is because I play classes that have multiple specs that I play. Like Sosa knows, shamans, like when you have gear like that, or druids when you have 4 specs, and so like it kind of adds up. I know just from this expansion alone, I have seven bank taps full of just shaman gear because I haven't because I haven't gotten rid of anything from this expansion because I don't want to get rid of it for some odd reason. So. That's the closest I come to that.
I ran Girl Slayer for the 5th week in a row and cheered because he finally dropped my pants token.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Nice.
I'm huge into the transmog. Pretty much as soon as they released it, I'm giant into it. I go in and I create a character. And now when I'm sitting at the character creation screen looking at the classes, I'm looking and I'm like, what rate? This is what I know this class can wear, and this is a transmog set I like. What race would it look best on? I'm literally sitting there doing that now, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. But I mean, transmog isn't for everyone, but for the people it is for, it is huge, and it doesn't take much to take up a lot of space when you consider that your standard transmog set is chest. Depending on the set, legs, headpiece, shoulder piece, gloves,
back
possibly back, possibly belt, possibly boots. I mean, it depends on which set. Like I've got sets. If you've got a nice robe, you can get away with like don't worry about pants, don't worry about boots.
Right.
I tend to turn off certain cloaks if I can't find a cloak that matches.
Right.
Sometimes I don't turn on the helm,
Mhm.
but I spend a lot of times transmogging, and I've literally got probably, I said I've got 790s.
Yep.
5 of those have full void storage from
Wow.
transmog.
Wow.
So like I said, it's a pretty insidious bug when it gets into you, and it bit me pretty hard. It actually has me playing a lot of characters and doing a lot of things I wouldn't ordinarily do because
Right.
I'm hunting for sets.
But
Right.
that allows you, I mean, to relate to what the community is saying here
Yeah,
about, you know, we need basically, you know, we need a walk-in closet.
Yeah, we need, you know, you've given us that cute little wardrobe, but I'd rather that, you know, 10 by 10 foot
Mhm.
walk-in closet with the shoe rack and
Mhm.
the little mirror in the back, stuff like that, you know. We
Yeah.
need to upgrade our closet.
So, I mean, you know, but having this stuff, you know, I mean, they could theoretically, you know, do like the tabards the way they did the mounts and the companions, you know, make them account wide.
That's what they're talking about. Is
They should do.
they've been talking about a tabard tab,
Mhm.
very similar, a spell book very similar to what they've done with the mounts and stuff like that. You would essentially learn it just like a spell, and you'd be able to use it at any time.
Right.
And there have been a lot of talking about a closet type feature.
Sure.
So that way you could put like specific sets in there. And some
Mhm.
people are asking, since Blizzard's all about taking very popular add-ons and kind of adding them into the game, a lot of people are begging Blizzard for the next one to be Mogget,
Right.
which is a nice fun little add-on that lets you look up different sets. You can either
Mhm.
look at a complete set, or you can look at individual pieces and
Sure.
mix and match it. So some people are asking for that, and I believe one of the Blues has said that they're looking at it,
Mhm.
but nothing's on the table right now. They've
Right.
got their hands full with
Oh, yeah.
enough, but
It would be so easy to do. I mean, just put a clothing store, quote unquote, in every capital, or in the tailor shop of every capital. Just put like a little like NPC with like a little dressing area. That's all you have to do,
That
and
would
then
be
and
cool.
then put in the
That
UI
would be
stuff.
Right.
That would be interesting. So you could actually go and look at this and see what something would look like, and
Right.
it might even tell you where it drops.
Mhm.
Right.
So you
Because
could
a lot
do
of that stuff they add some kind of RP element, like the barber shop. Like it's a physical barber shop that you go to in a separate building
Yep.
in most
Yeah.
capitals, and it's cool. Like it fuses functionality with aesthetics and the RP, and it's cool. I mean, it's not exactly
Yeah.
like accurate time wise. Like how many barbershop little twirly red and white things are there in Azeroth? I don't know.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like it's fun, and so they could
it
do
is.
something just as easy with this if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could. No, that's
They
very
could.
interesting. And you know, if you guys want to, you know, a little more information, you know, have it kind of, you know, cleared up for you. BlizzPro.com has a really good article by Crow, and it's the
about
update for
the toolbox.
yeah, update on the toy box UI for Warlords of Draenor. So yeah, you can check that out. And speaking of Crow, he's been very busy.
Yes, he
Crow
has.
Crow wrote another article, and it's Blizzard's Guide for Submitting GM Petitions.
Let me go ahead and throw that
Now,
out there.
This, you would think, okay, you know, how hard can it be to submit a petition? Apparently, rather difficult. Because the thing that you have to remember is they're people, okay?
Right.
And they're reading what you write. So when you submit an in-game petition, or you go to the support site and you submit a petition about an issue, you need to be very clear, and you need to be very concise about what the issue is. You know, if you find, like I found basically an exploit in the game on accident. I was questing, trying to get Cloud Serpent rep, and I was doing one of the daily quests where they send you to fight the little Sarok guys, the little lizard guys. And I had to grab eggs and stuff too. Well, I was killing the lizard guys, and you know how they do that charge thing? And you try to move, you know, you sidestep out of the way so they don't hit you and daze you.
Yep.
Well, I moved to get out of the way of his charge attack, and I moved by a rock. And he went to do it again, and before I could move, because I was in the middle of casting a spell, I thought, oh, well, he's going to hit me with it. he didn't hit me with it, and he was like
Oh, yeah.
stuck.
They
So-
do that. They don't, because they don't have a straight path on the rocks and stuff like
Right.
that. They shows them casting it,
Mhm.
but they never actually charge.
Yeah, you
because
see the
there's no
cloud of
clear
dust.
path.
You see the cloud of dust go up like he did it, but you don't get hit, and
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
happened-
daze you.
that's been
So,
happening to me for forever. I've used that a few times.
so I submitted a ticket to Blizzard saying, "Hey, I found this exploit on accident.
Mhm.
This is the spot I was standing in because the map shows you your little location numbers. So I said, hey, I was standing here. This is what happened. Just thought you should know.
Mhm.
And then from then on, I did my best to try and not stand by the rocks and take advantage of the exploit. Because that is somewhere in the EULA. Not sure where, but I know it's in there that you're not supposed to use
Such a
game
cheater.
I don't know if that's classified as an exploit. What that is more like just a
It's a bug.
It's a minor bug. It's a pathing issue
Yep.
with the mobs.
Yeah, it's a
the
pathing
same thing. It's the same thing where a mob gets stuck on a rock
Mm-hmm.
and you can't attack. It can't quite attack you, and you can't attack it because it evade bugs until you're standing right on top of it.
Yep.
Because you can only damage it when it's able to damage you. So it's kind of like that kind of thing. But
Anyways,
yeah,
it's
a pathing issue, and
yeah.
if they're not aware of it, it always helps to bring
but
it up.
but you have to be clear
Hmm.
with what's going on. Just doing this rambling thing, if your character is, say, stuck in a wall,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, it's not like I went to sit in the second chair from the right in the Dwarven Tavern, and I got stuck. I could not get out. I logged out, logged in. I was still stuck. It's not like, hey, me and my friend Jim, we were here in the tavern. We were RP in this sick fight. Blah blah blah. I couldn't get up out of my chair, and blah blah blah. You have to be very.
Yep.
You have to tell them what happened, and if you tried to fix anything. But don't ramble on.
Right.
Like, these
Mhm.
guys have so much to do, and they really don't need to hear about your sick RP or whatever you were doing.
Right. Yeah, they need to know what the issue is. So,
Yeah.
the who, the what, the when, the where. Make sure you're giving good details, but don't go overboard. Like you were saying, they don't need to know that you just got a new, Naga razor unless you're having, an issue with your, razor.
Your mouse, yeah.
Right.
But in that case, you should go to razor.
It's true. They'll probably send you there.
basically- Right. So basically, if you have an in-game issue, be clear, be concise, give the right details, and some very important points. And this kind of goes back to what we talked to with the Trojan virus that happened, is when you communicate with the GMs, because they will talk to you if they need to, is that they will never send you to a non-Blizzard site through an unsolicited tell. They will never ask for your password. They will always have a blue Blizzard logo next to their name, and it'll say Blizzard.
Mhm.
Their chat will pop up in its own chat box, not your regular chat box.
Yep.
And their characters can't be put on ignore. So if anyone claims to be a GM and they're trying to send you to another website or ask for information, report it immediately
Mhm.
by right-clicking on their name and report the player. So yeah, just basically, use your head. If you've submitted a petition and a GM contacts you, be polite, answer their questions, don't ramble on, don't take that as a moment to ask them when they're going to implement Dance Studio. Just keep it to what it is, because they do have other petitions to answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots.
And the same could be said too for if you're going to the forums to post about an issue you have, because I can't tell you the amount of times I go into the forums and people are like, I have this problem, but you try to read their post and you don't understand what the problem is because they're just not explaining it clearly.
Mhm.
I've seen it countless number of times, and eventually someone else, maybe if they're lucky, further down in the thread, someone else will go all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I had the same problem, but they'll explain it correctly to the point where you can actually understand it. So if you're trying to let them know about a problem, an issue you've got, an issue the game's got, you've got to be extremely clear, using very basic language, and make it so that way they can see what it is, figure out what you're talking about really quickly. Like, if you can, condense it down to a few lines of text.
Yep.
Because they don't have time to sit through and read like 2 paragraphs and try to parse out what the problem is.
Yep. So,
And the sooner they can figure out what the problem is, the sooner they can fix it, and the sooner you can get your butt out of that chair you're stuck in.
Right. So, yeah, just, remember, they're people too. And, if you were in their shoes, how would you like to have to open a petition that's a wall of text that makes no sense?
And use proper English, please.
Yes.
Don't use leet speak.
What?
Please use like full you. Please use like YOU, not you. Please don't use letter numbers in place of letters. Use like actual adult language, not like text, cell phone text.
Exactly.
Actual full language, not leet speak, please.
Yes.
These guys are cool. The GMs are cool. They're hip. They're with it. I probably just dated myself by using those terms.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
But I understood it, so what does that say about me?
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
So try to act a little more professional when you're talking to them, because they're gonna speak with you very professionally as well. They're gonna be fun. Every time I've spoken with a GM, they're an absolute blast.
Oh yes.
But make it very easy to understand what you're saying. Use proper English. Like I can't get over the amount of times I go into forum posts.
Oh, I know.
And it looks like someone just typed something up on their cell phone and put it on the forum somehow.
Oh, I know, it's horrible.
I'm pretty sure my nephew has better grammar than some of these forum posts, but that's neither here nor there.
So just keep those things in mind. Just some, good tips for you guys. Now, last week we talked about the, realm combos. Putting
server
realms,
searchers,
yes, to get servers with low populations, a little more action and help their auction house, help their economy, etc.
Kulturs.
Bring everything together. But so there's another part to this. Geeky, why don't you tell us what's going on?
Well, we have some fantastic free transfers that are being offered through, I think, another 2 or 3 more days. So Overlord Bunny, one of the Blizz Pro contributors, wrote a real brief article about what's going on. And I guess Bashiok was the one that announced this on the forums, on the WoW forums. And it looks like, here, I'm going to bring it up here real quick so we can see what's going on. So there's 3 main transfers, free transfers that are going on. You got Area 52 and Storm Rage to Turleon. Never say it right. Tichondrius and Illidan to Blackrock, and then we got Bleeding Hollow and Dark Spear to Korgath. And the ones that are being transferred from, there are huge powerhouse servers that have probably been here. I know Tyke for sure is an original. I'm pretty sure.
Most of them sound like original names.
Yeah, I mean, Tyke. I played Alliance Tyke during Wrath, and it was big then. I'm kind of surprised that Blackrock is a target destination, because I played the end of Kata on that server, and it was pretty big. So I'm kind of surprised that they're taking from, Illidan and Tyke, which are 2 of the bigger ones, and throwing into that. So, because I know there's a lot of, I'm sure anyone could make this argument too, but there's quite a few low pops that still have not been either connected or had free transfers. So,
well, I know quite a while ago, I used to be on Dark Spear, and it was a very high population server, and a couple years ago they offered free transfers. Off of Dark Spear. So they're doing it again, which means that, either, lots of people are still joining, they have friends who play, or they just didn't get enough people leaving and then still had new people coming on.
Yeah. The biggest thing I've seen is I was reading through the actual forum posts on that, and a lot of people were saying that, oh yay, no more 20-minute queues, and I can't wait till all the baddies leave. I think that's the biggest problem with these free transfers is people are hoping everyone else is going to leave and they get to stay in their own little section.
Right.
Right.
I think that's the biggest problem with that's happening with this, and that might be why the server mergers are necessary. And it could also be that the reason they're hooking these large pops to other decently sized pop realms is because people are going like, well, I don't want to move to this low pop server
Right.
with, no auction house and no rating things, stuff like that, whereas if it's a large server with a 20-minute queue every night, going to a medium server that has no queue but a large amount of people will be a little more excited about that and
Right.
probably a little more likely to leave and maybe take their friends with them because, it's a server that's already got an economy going. It's already got stuff going
Sure.
for it.
Right. Well,
Right.
and you
You
can
know.
transfer your guild too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can. Kind of along the same lines, we had like we briefly mentioned that we had some mergers go on this week, Kulturus and Blade Fist, and there's a few other ones. One that I looked at specifically was Kargath and Norganon was the one because I'm leveling the mage on Kargath, and I was there the day like right after the servers came back up, and then I've never seen so much flaming and trolling in trade chat since like Baron's days.
Oh, I know.
Way
I
back.
know.
And it's just like the lines in the sand are already drawn. It's
Yep.
like, oh, yep,
Yeah.
those Norganon people. Don't like them at all. And then, it's just horrible. I was like, this is bad. This is not... Like, I don't know if they ever intended for, like, if they saw that outcome. Like, are people going to be able to, like, mesh well? Because you're taking, like, two families, pretty much, of people. And you're just kind of, like, throwing them into, the melting pot. And say, hey, have fun, kids. Play nice. And it's so far... I don't know.
For the most part, it is going to work out. You're just always going to get those drunken uncles who are going to yell at the other drunken uncles because they're drinking the wrong beer.
Right.
It's going to happen. The people trolling and flaming in trade chat are the people who would be trolling and flaming trade chat even if the servers weren't merged. I would bet you anything.
Oh yeah, no, I saw lots of hate for Blade Fist and them talking about how horrible the Blade Fist people are and all, and it was just constant. It was like, hey guys, they just moved here. Don't judge the neighbors just yet.
Yeah,
it's not their
exactly.
fault that the landscape is the way that it is.
Right.
Blame the previous owners. Let's see. Oh, we actually have a really cool question from the trade chat. Kelso says, do you think there should be transfers for dead servers?
For dead servers. Oh, I mean, but then you have to, define a dead server. It's like, where do you draw the line? Like, low. I don't know. Like, I think there definitely should be transfers for dead servers, but I think you have to define it.
They're not going to transfer from dead servers. They're going to collect them and they're going to merge them in. The reason they're doing these free transfers right now is to alleviate the problems. The larger servers are going to have more problems being linked to other servers because they need to connect all of that stuff to another server. The low ones, the so-called dead realms that only have a few thousand people on them. That's the thing is people say they say dead server. There's still probably a few thousand people on those servers.
Right.
So but what they're going to do is they're going to take those ones with less people and they're going to be a lot easier to merge in, which is why some of the server merges you'll see, there's I think there's one server that's already got 5 merged into it.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen with all your dead servers. Your bigger servers are going to have these temporary free transfers just to alleviate the problems that are happening right now because those ones are going to be the harder ones to slam together. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be merging the smaller ones up, I'm willing to bet, is what they're doing. They're working on it. They have a rhyme and a reason that we're not privy to, but I'm willing to bet that's what some of it is they're taking the lower ones because there's going to be a lot less kind of weaving that has to be done in order to get them to work correctly. Whereas those big monster servers are going to be just a mess to try and merge with something else. They might not even need to be merged because they're so full, but they're trying to siphon off some of the extra people
Right.
out of that. And I think that's why they're doing these, is to get rid of some of the big problems. The dead servers are going to be merged with other ones.
Well,
I'll bet anything on that.
Part of the problem with like these big servers that have the queues, you know, where they offer the free transfers to try and alleviate some of that issue, is that along with those big servers with the high pop servers, is you will have very old, very established guilds.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And even with free transfers, they're not going to be willing to necessarily move their guild.
No,
to another
server. They're the ones who are probably going to be stuck there.
Well, no, they're the ones that are going to put their feet down and say, well, we were here. We've been here for, you know, X amount of expansions or since vanilla or whatever. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we're established. So, yeah, you can get somebody else to move. And what about any of the other guilds that are also have been around for a while? You know, they're going to put their feet down. And, you know, if they have a lot of, I mean, think about it. Not to say that we are like that, but I mean, just as an example, what would happen if, say, Cultiris became a high pop server and they were offering free transfers? How easy would it be to move the Twisted Nation?
Not easy at all.
Yeah.
But the big thing is
I mean,
that
we're a weird exception.
Yeah, because we've got
multiple
so
guilds.
so many guilds. But I mean, also the big thing too is you're going to see these well-established guilds.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have infighting. Like, there's going to be one guild that doesn't like that well-established guild, and they're going to see this guild stomp down and say, no, we're here, and they're going to be like, later, suckers, and they're going to book it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know...
I think you need to make sure that you're clarifying the difference between old established guilds and like big guilds, because like Twisted Nation is definitely established, like it's established, but it's not like
big
old.
Guild, but
it's not old. It's not like, you know, they were doing Molten Core back in. No, it's a fairly new quote unquote guild.
We were doing Dragon Soul.
Well, let's put it this way. So back in vanilla, leading into BC, my husband and I had started a guild, and we merged with another guild because we were both small guilds, and we changed the name, and it's Covenant. Covenant is still on iTrig to this day. Mm-hmm. And they're actually a pretty good-sized guild now. They're still raiding, still doing all that stuff. I think there's maybe one or two people I still recognize that are in the guild. Almost everybody else is gone. But, I mean, the guild is still there. And that's been around since vanilla. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, is like these really established guilds, particularly if they have any type of rating history. You know, they may not be the top 10 rating guild or anything like that, you know, but they have a history. They have, you know, how easy is it going to be to get a guild like that to move?
Depending on the guild, it can actually be easy. Some rating guilds that are fairly, what you might think is like old school, they've been around for a while, they're sometimes very willing to move in order to get to a new pool of raiders for recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I've seen there's also been some of the top 10 guilds in the world have done entire guild transfers just because they don't want to be on a server because of the amount of people on it, the amount of lag that it can cause even on the instance servers. So they'll transfer out. Like, I remember that being a problem. I guess this would have been Kata. One of the big guilds moved because they were on one of the older servers. Mm-hmm. And they did a realm transfer entirely just to get out of there because of the lag that was causing on their servers was actually screwing up some of their heroic attempts.
Right.
So, I mean, you think that, you know, some of these old guilds are going to put their foot down and stop, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're going to be the ones to leave because they're looking for the fresh blood.
Right.
Like, you know, that realm name is nice and all of that, but sometimes if it can help your guild more to move than to stay. Mm-hmm. You never know, but the free transfers are there for the people who want to use it, and, you know.
And it's nice that Blizzard does it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't
really
have to pay to get off of you got this 20-minute queue. Do you want to pay to get a character or two off of it, or do you want to start fresh somewhere? No. Oh, free transfer gone.
Yeah, exactly. So. Now, you know, all right. So we've got that going on. You know, you can check out the list there. BlizzPro.com, Overload Bunny's article. But we do have something rather interesting. Now, we all know that the Blizzard community loves to speculate. They love their tinfoil hats. But we have a very interesting take on something. Geeky, why don't you lead us off on this?
Oh boy. So we have this great, I don't know, I think it's well constructed, but I'll get into my opinion later. But it's about chromy, our favorite NPC from way back in the day.
Yes.
They're
not a gnome.
Yeah. Chromy's alignment in the future and in the present with players. I'm going to get it up here real quick so we can kind of look at it. It's interesting. It's called the Chromy Conspiracy, and it's on the Amateur Azerothion's WordPress. And it's not too long of a read. It's pretty good. It pretty much details how you see Chromy, and she's neutral. She's neutral now after being our friend for so many years, through so many adventures, and now she is neutral. And this post pretty much is kind of a tinfoil back and forth about, well, it could be this, it could be that, kind of talking about how Chromy might be the bad guy, or bad girl rather, that sent Garrosh back in time. And it kind of outlines the thought process behind it, and it kind of takes a look at other popular theories surrounding this. Right here in the middle here, and it's interesting. I think the way that it's constructed, I think it's very well written, but personally, I don't agree with the theory. But I'll let you two go first before I gush. So, Daro, go for it. What do you think?
I can't see Chromy crossing the line like this.
Yeah.
I mean, in the past, with what interactions we have had with Chromy, with quote, assisting us, as much as possible. One of the things that Chromy was, has said is, there's only so much I can do for you. And you see Chromy going back to the revamped Stratholme,
right.
And where you're dealing with, Arthas before he was the Lich King, and sort of the beginning of his downfall because he purged Stratholme.
Right.
And Chromy's the one that sort of lets you go there. Chromy was very limited in what she did.
It's true.
And it was very specific about what you were supposed to do. Because you can't alter the timeline. So I can't see Chromy being willing to send Garrosh back in time to change the entire fate of the orcs. Right. Because that's too much of a blow, and I cannot see Chromy breaking with that tradition.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I think we just lost Sosa.
We did.
So
Sosa back here.
Coming back here. I agree, and this is brought up in the blog post about, is this going to be another quote unquote good guy girl going bad for X, Y, and Z reasons? And I hope that if for some reason this theory does come true, I hope that's not the case, because I'm over it. Just whatever. Because people thought with Jaina's outburst that, at the end of Siege of Orgrimmar, Garrosh kill, that, she's bad now because she's so against Thrall and everyone, and so I just think that they need to come with other plot devices. I think that we need to they need to work on the writing, because a lot of people have a lot of comments and harsh critiques about the writing in the games, and they want to see something new. And so I feel like if this theory came true, that they would fall back into some really bad criticism from the player base. So I don't know. I think, and I love the very first comment on here. I don't know if we can see it. It's someone's like, well, not to take the wind out of your sails, but I honestly think it's something as simple as player is neutral with new faction, the Time Walkers, which chromy just happens to be aligned with. Eventually, we'll be given quests and whatnot to build up rep with them. Shrugs, just my 2 coppers on that. And I completely agree. That's the first thing I thought when I read the first paragraph, and then I scroll to the bottom and I see this comment, and I was so grateful that someone else in the universe agreed with me. Because I think it's exactly it. It's just a new faction.
I don't think we're going to be able to get Sosa back. I think weather / being in the boonies of Canada has killed her internet somehow.
Oh no.
I will try again in a little while to rescue Sosa from the clutches of the Lich King, but we'll see if we can do that. Yes, brought it back to Wrath.
Yes. Back to Wrath.
So, but no, it was a very good article, which, you know, when I saw it, I was quite intrigued to just take a look, and, you know, it not being the typical tinfoil hat conspiracy, you know, which usually involves, you know, Blizzard somehow trying to take over the world, and steal all of our money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's or you know, they're secretly against, you know, insert class name here. Which usually is whatever class you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, this was really interesting to see as a thought, you know, of what we could potentially do.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that there's some really good potential in there, and I'm glad that people are theorizing like this, and they're writing their theories in concise and constructed arguments that make sense, because I could follow everything that was being said. And I think that people should be encouraged to voice their opinions in this way. You know, whether it's through a blog, through Twitter, or whatever medium, forum posts. I think it's great, and I think that more people should do that. So hats off.
Yes,
hats off to that. Very good. Very good.
Blog post.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the amateur Azrathian on WordPress. Usually does some really good articles. Yes, we are having technical issues.
Losing Sosa was the monkey wrench in this entire operation.
Yeah, it totally messed everything up, and Twitch is not helping. So poor Sosa is lost to the snow and the wilds of Canada.
Yes.
So I keep trying to get her back, and it's not working, guys. But anyways, let's move on. Now, we did have an interesting question this week, because a lot of people have been talking about the fact that Blizzard does have so many games.
Right.
So we asked, you know, what are your thoughts on Blizzard branching out into so many games? You know, different types of games. You know, they've got the card game with Hearthstone. They're going to have a, you know, tower defense lane kind of, you know, fighting game with Heroes of the Storm. You know, obviously they already have StarCraft. They already have Diablo. You know, and they're doing other things with their expansions for WoW.
Right.
So we asked, what do people think about Blizzard branching out? And we got quite a few responses. So on Twitter, Ella Fiegel said, diversify, baby. Seriously, as long as they continue to produce quality, people will be eager to play their games.
I agree.
S.A. Stewart 111 said, I think it's a smart move. Resembles Google looking around and buying up success, YouTube, etc. Blizzard similarly seems to be looking at what's successful, such as MOBAs dominating Twitch viewers and capitalizing with their own entry. We have Morrison Wow said, I'm fine with it so long as their overall game quality stays high. Now that seems to be the going theme, is as long as Blizzard makes a quality game, go for it. And thank you, Leviathan. We appreciate it. Very good comment, by the way. And then we have I'm Short WTF, also known as Honey, from the
Honey
Nation. Yes, Honey. Love you, Honey. She says, as a mom of 4 kids, I see how quickly the attention fades from one game to the next with this generation. Smart move, in my opinion. And very true. You get tired of playing one type of game, you can hop to another and not have to leave your Battle.net login.
No, there's been no announcement, Max. There's been no announcement for the expansion yet. There's a lot of tin hat theories about that as well. I've seen like algorithms and equations based on previous expansion releases and open beta releases. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Someone said, "Oh, right,
Math never lies.
yeah, right, yeah, math never lies." I've seen a lot of Octobers. A lot of people are agreeing on October for some reason. I think Mist came out in September, if I remember correctly. It was like the earliest in the calendar year release out of everything, because I think most of them came out like late November. I want to say.
Before Christmas.
Yeah, right before Christmas. So, okay. Anyway, back to this.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. So then we have Khan's vote says always high quality always. The team always seems driven to perfect what they do and do what they love. And yeah, we have seen that. You know, look at Hearthstone. You know, the closed beta is going to be an open beta soon. But they haven't said anything about it being, you know, a regular game. You know, and just being, you know, hey, it's launched, we're done with beta. It's because they are trying to perfect things. And I do definitely agree with that they want it to be as close to perfect as they can get it.
Right.
John M. Harvey says, it's all about the Benjamins. Diversity is the name of the game, more to play. Well, it's true. You have more games, you get more money because people are looking for more stuff. And then we do have a couple Facebook comments, actually. And I will just use first names for the sake of privacy. Steph just said hashtag money. And Eric said, fix the games they currently have. Now, in our question, the only one we received of that mindset of just fix what you have was from Eric on Facebook. But I have seen a lot of the community say, hey, why are they doing Heroes of the Storm here when we have X, Y, and Z issue with, say, Diablo?
Right.
You know, or well, what about StarCraft? They haven't developed anything new for StarCraft, you know, in a while. Which, you know, well, what's their general? I mean, what do they classify as new?
Right.
Because they certainly have been doing stuff with StarCraft.
Oh yeah.
Got the new ladder system and all that kind of
Definitely.
stuff. So they're still running tournaments, so obviously they haven't made the game boring.
It seems like StarCraft is the one member of the Blizzard family that's so self-sufficient that, I mean, it's in a good spot right now, and it's got a lot of attention with the tournaments, like you said. And I think I don't really care about the development. Like, I'm sure everything's on schedule. I'm not worried about what they're coming out with. But in regards to Heroes of the Storm, it's definitely a money move for them.
Oh yes.
Because they're seeing League of Legends, they're like, hey, we can do that better, and we can get a piece of the pie. So I think that it's a good move on their part to do that. And really, there's really no game that they have out right now that's like super broken. Right. You know, it's not like there's a game out there that really demands that much attention that they need to throw all their effort into it. WoW's fine.
You haven't talked to any Paladins, have you?
Oh gosh, yeah, but as soon as you fix Paladins and the Rogues are upset, you fix the Rogues, the Mages, you know, it just goes on and on. No one is happy. So I think that they're moving in a good direction. I think that they are right on point with everything that they're doing in terms of development. I mean,
I think so too. I mean, it's, you know, I don't really, like you said, I don't really see that anything is really broken.
No.
You know, they're you know, yeah, okay, they've got a release date for Reaper of Souls for Diablo 3.
Right.
You know, but they've still got people in beta. I mean, they're still getting feedback. So we're
yeah,
definitely looking to the future of, okay, this is what we've got when we're going live. Where do we want it to go from there? You know, what's going to be the next patch? You know,
right.
And Blizzard has already stated, you know, that they're, you know, several expansions ahead of everybody. Well, that's going to include patches. That's, you know, I mean, so, and that's not just for WoW. You know, that's going to be for Diablo. That's going to be for StarCraft. I'm sure that's going to be the way it is with Heroes of the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And Hearthstone. I mean, we've already seen them do, you know, wipes with Hearthstone.
Right.
Putting everybody back to square one.
Yep.
So, you know, I don't see them releasing, you know, one of those half-done projects. I just can't.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think that they have so much coming out this year. It's ridiculous because with open beta Hearthstone, it's going to happen any minute now. We're just waiting on pins and needles for it to happen. You got Reaper of Souls coming out in 2 months. You have the next WoW expansion that will happen probably third, fourth quarter of the year. I mean, there's so much spread out over the entire calendar year that it has to be spaced out evenly, and on the same time they're developing like Heroes of the Storm. They're doing all that stuff. They're trying to get a beta for that going. I'm sure they already have the opt-in for it, so it's going to happen here for too long. Probably, I don't know, a couple months maybe. It just depends. Right. So they have a really good timetable for their development, and I don't think, I mean, they've always had a really good timetable for coming out with games, and I don't think that they have any problem with branching out and looking into developing other games that they can like kind of dip their toes in the water and say, we've never made this game before or this type of game. Let's see what happens, because obviously these people are playing this kind of game over here for this company.
Oh yeah.
So, no, good for them.
No, and I mean, yes, they are in business. I mean, they're not a nonprofit organization. They are doing this to make money, and by diversifying and making more games to appeal to more markets, of course, they're going to go for it if there's a big enough market. I mean, come on, they added pet bottles to WoW because of how big things like Pokemon,
exactly,
and Yu-Gi-Oh, and any of those others. I mean, Pokemon's the original. But how many branches? How many other companies tried to do their own version of
Digimon?
Pokemon?
Remember Digimon?
Oh, yeah. And because it's still so popular with people, and people like to collect pets anyway, well, why not make them do something?
Yeah.
So they capitalized on it, and it's huge. I mean, the auction house is crazy with battle pets.
They have teams and scores of people at Blizzard in Irvine, California, that are just going over the internet with a fine-tooth comb, and they're looking and seeing what's trending, especially in the gaming community, and seeing how can we incorporate something like this into one of our games, or how can we make a new game that can capture that idea. So
right, and they know how to make it friendly to the player. I mean,
we
talked about, and almost every other podcast has said at least at some point, Blizzard is user friendly.
Yeah, it is.
And while people may slam my Mac, that I own, Blizzard is kind of the Apple of the gaming community. It's make it exciting, make it fun, and make it easy to use. Anticipate what the user wants.
Right. Yep.
So hey, props to Blizzard for that. Unfortunately, I have not been able to raise Sosa, I think we're going to have to put a ticket in to get her.
Oh man,
raised.
She's in the Twisted Nether. It's lost cause. Lost cause now.
She is. So she is stuck in a wall in Ice Crown right now.
Ooh.
So we'll get a petition in to get her freed as soon as possible. Hey, with everything we talked about, we appreciate all you guys being here, and
that's right.
Some great comments were made in the chat room. Thank you, and thank you for being a part of the show and helping us out. Thank you to all the listeners who will be checking us out later. If you want to know more about all of these stories, as well as more information than you could possibly shake a stick at, which I don't have a stick. I do have a cane I could shake at you, but it's not quite the same.
That works.
Well, no, because that's more of a get off your lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it works.
But go to blizzpro.com, and you can check out the articles we talked about and referenced tonight, as well as tons of other great things. If you want to check out the full line of excellent information sources, you can check out their various podcasts. There's Twizcast, which is the official podcast of BlizzPro. There is The Edge, which is a fantastic show. If you've ever wanted to know about a class in spec, how to play it, how to improve yourself, or if you ever wanted to check it out, check out The Edge. They are Tuesday nights at 9 Central.
I believe so.
I believe, yes.
Yes, I think so.
And then there is the brand brand new Hearthstone Happy Hour, which is every Monday at 9 p.m. Bring along your alcohol of choice and watch Twiz get drunk in an attempt to play Hearthstone with the advice of his co-hosts. And then, of course, we have Blues Pro Weekly, which will be on Blues Pro's website. It is the best 15 to 20 minutes you will spend learning about Blizzard news. If you would like to send us an email and give us your thoughts, opinions, and comments on either what we talked about or anything going on in the Blizzard community, we would love to hear your thoughts. You can email us at spotlight@blizzpro.com, or you can tweet us. We are at SpotlightP on Twitter. So, Geeky, what would you like to leave us with?
If you guys have not tuned into Twizcast in the last week or two, there's been the announcement of the Twisted Nation going worldwide in partnership with Open Raid, coming up with a new guild on Alliance Colteris called Twisted Raiders. It is focused on raiding content at level 60, 70, or 80, 85. It's a great opportunity to start a new character and start the raiding experience from the beginning, Molten Core style, 40-man. Open Raid is kind of leading the charge with this. I was able to get on Alliance Culturist earlier today, and I did a /who Twisted Raiders, and there was tons of people online.
Wow,
Already people at 60. There were so many people online that it said 50, which is the maximum that I can show in /who.
Wow.
And so lots of 60s already. Lots of people making the big leaps to that point to start raiding. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. I'm about to start over again. And if you are full up on Culturist, go ahead and go to Blade Fist, since they're now merged, and you can start a new character there. And it kind of gets around that. So lots of people are taking advantage of it. But yeah, that was from Twizcast, I believe 2 episodes ago.
We talked about it again, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but yeah, awesome stuff. And the Open Raid people really are.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Wonderful people.
They're great people.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about you, Daro? What do you got for us?
Well, you know, if you're walking on ice, don't try to catch yourself, or you will end up with one of these.
I don't know if they can see it, but yeah.
Yes.
It's a very lovely cast. Hey, there you go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there
So,
it
yeah,
is.
lovely cast there. Broke my arm, breaking my fall, and so I literally broke my fall. So yes, be careful on ice out there. And oh, Sosa is back in the server. She fixed her internet, but Skype will not.
That's okay, Sosa. It's
Sosa,
all right.
I'm so sorry. At least you were rezzed from the wall of Ice Crown.
That's
so
right.
We're
That's
glad
right.
to see your
Our ticket got
live.
through.
Yes,
You know, got through
our ticket
real
got
quick.
through. Yay, Blizzard GMs for saving Sosa. Hey, Angry Orc, what's going on?
Angry's here.
Yeah, Angry's here.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that means the chat room is going to explode in party mode.
That's right.
Those were party grenades. You know what? We appreciate everything that you guys do for the community by letting everyone know what's going on, what's on your mind. So keep those thoughts coming. And Sosa would say that to remember that Sosa loves you. So don't forget that. So yes, keep on trucking and doing what you do. And hey, love your game. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
The forums.
The streamers.
The blogs.
The gamer.
The tweets.
The streamer.
The role players.
The player.
The forums.
The bad.
Blogs.
The good.
The enthusiast.
The spotlight.
The spotlight.
The spotlight.